Scammers stole billions of dollars from Australians last year, and older people are often the targets. To take us through the data released by the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, we're joined by Consumer Affairs reporter Michael Atkin. Hi there, Michael. So what did the report find?
Hi, Roz. Unfortunately, it found that these enormous and devastating losses are continuing. Billions of dollars. Last year, $2.7 billion lost in total, and authorities fear the real losses are actually much higher. And what they're finding is that people over 65 are really being targeted here. Their losses are going up, so they're really worried about that. The biggest losses, about half, come from investment scams. So that's usually when people are looking to boost their retirement savings and they're looking for a savings account with a slightly higher interest rate or something of that nature. Crypto scams is another one that falls into that category. And then we have remote access scams where people get access, the scammers get access to a laptop or another device, and that enables them to take control of a bank account or something else. And then romance scams are really big, hundreds of millions of dollars lost to romance scams. And despite the losses being so big, they have fallen slightly from the previous year, which was a record high. The government, the Minister Stephen Jones was out today and said that he was optimistic that some of the interventions they've put in place is starting to move things in the right direction, even though losses are so huge. Let's hear from him.
The data in this report gives us hope that with the right action, with the right program, with the right policies, we can take the scammers off and we can be saving Australians millions and millions of dollars. So $2.7 billion, still too much. But the trend is that the losses are coming down, and that's good news indeed.
What are the most common ways people are being contacted by scammers, Michael?
Well, if people are anything like me, this won't be a surprise. The bombardment of scam text messages continues. Most days when I wake up, I've got a couple on my phone, and they are increasing dramatically. So that's the most common scam contact point, and that's increased by more than 30% in the last year. So what's happening there is obviously nowhere near good enough. Phone calls are what results in the largest amount of losses, and social media is really flourishing. Scams on socials is widespread, and there's a lot of criticism that not enough is being done there either.
All right, so what are scam victims and consumer advocates calling on government and industry to do next?
Largely, they're saying the burden for prevention and disruption, detection of scams is falling unfairly on consumers, and they say that the level of sophistication now with these scams that may use artificial intelligence and all these other methods that are really quite clever and crafty and quite difficult for an ordinary person to detect mean that the burden needs to be shifted from the consumer to industry to do far more, and that reimbursement should follow suit if they fail to do so. And that is a very difficult argument that's underway, and what is going to happen in this space, we're going to find out in the coming months, and it will be very interesting to see where it lands.